Hello, YouTube. This is Stealing Your Attention, and if we're lucky, my headphones are recording audio and not the phone. But if not, you guys are getting wind, you guys are getting all sorts of good stuff right now. So with that, I'm going to try and speak up a little bit in this video. The topic of today's video is, why did I spend $500 on a web novel so that I could read the web novel on the official web novel forum, like web novel app, when I had already read the entire book for free? Like, why did I go back after reading an entire book and pay for the whole thing on the official platform after the fact? I'm going to go over why I did it, and then something fascinating I noticed after I did it. So, why did I do it? It has to do with my core values. It has to do with who I am. It has to do with the kind of person I want to be and the things I believe in. So there are a lot of things that I don't have an issue with pirating. Now, with that said, that comes with a secondary rule set for me, where if I do enjoy something, I do gain value from something, I feel it's necessary for me to then trade some of my value for that value in some way, shape, or form. And that's never going to be something that I can do perfectly. I'm sometimes even as willing to go as loose as, let's say somebody gave me value and I know that they support X cause. Let's say it's a streamer that supports PETA, for instance. I'm not saying whether I do or do not support any of these things. I'm just throwing concepts out here. So let's say there's a streamer that supports PETA. If I felt I got value from that streamer, something I might do as part of this exchange of value is I would, give a donation to PETA, and that would be something I have to do to balance my, value karma, for lack of a better term. And so with this book, I got a ton of value out of it. It was a 0 to hero type novel. 14 cents a chapter, a 5-minute read per chapter, 5 to 10 minutes, depending on reading speed and whatnot, if you're messing up or not messing up. And I loved the book. I got a lot out of it. I still have concepts come up where I can actually pull up themes and quotes from the book to help work with those concepts. And I've absolutely enjoyed doing so. And so I turned around when I was in a better position financially and purchased the whole novel without batting an eyelash. And so I encourage you to do this if there's anything that you are gaining value from, because these bees are having fun with me. Woo! Buddy. He is Curious Bee. You should make a movie. But future Ryan, you're gonna leave this in, aren't you? When you pay for things, they mean more to you. I could bring up scientific research, but I'm not going to go that far. I will just say, if you want to learn how to sing, if you want to be a better singer, and you have the money to do it, if you're in a financial position to do it, I encourage you to invest in a coach. I encourage you to go out and pay for a singing program. Don't drop like $200-$300 on your first singing program. Like, um, don't get it in your head that I went and bought this web novel and like, I've never spent this kind of money on anything before. This has been ramped up over time as I realize how much value I get out of these things. So, for instance, this pair of headphones on my head. Brand new when these first came out, this would have been a $400 pair of headphones. Now, when I first started investing value into headphones to get value out of headphones, did I immediately go out and buy a $400 pair of headphones? Absolutely not. First thing I did was go out and buy like a $50 pair of headphones, and then I bought a $150 pair of headphones. And I enjoyed these things for a good amount of time before I went and bought the $400 pair of headphones. In terms of books, let's be honest, I started listening to audiobooks on YouTube. That was where I first started like enjoying books in audio format, and then I went to Audible, and I started with an Audible membership because I wanted to start paying for these books and get access to books that weren't even on YouTube yet. And from there, I ended up, buying physical books more often and reading more and more until I started wanting to read fantasy again, like I did when I was a kid. And now I'm, paying for novels and still watching like TV and learning from like old TV shows I used to like. So as you realize that you are getting value out of the things that you value, don't be afraid to ramp up how much money you're willing to invest into this value, because you'll get more out of it. You really will. And while in this case it's rather literal with the novel, while I have spent about $500 now at this point to have access to the whole 3,500 chapters, it puts me in a position where now I have a forum. There's comment sections after each chapter, so there's a community aspect of it, which is something I wanted to talk about a little bit before I end this video. There is the paragraph comments, which is again part of the community aspects, but those are really cool in that you can see a single paragraph and that might elicit a thought, and having these paragraph comments here as you're reading this thing makes it a group experience. Suddenly when you have a thought, you can be like, oh, did anybody have a thought similar to mine? Or maybe there'll even be like a GIF that's a good imagery of something that just happened in the paragraph. And that community aspect adds a lot to the reading experience. And I'm enjoying that as I reread the novel a second time. So for me, I already know reading novels, I know reading these stories is something I get a ton of value from. So dropping $500 into it, no big deal. Dropping $400 on a pair of headphones that are just, out of this world for me, no big deal, because I've been using them for a year and a half, going on 2 years now. That's less than $1 a day at this point. Worth it. And, I've been reading this web novel on and off for months, and I'm sure I'll be continuing to read it on and off for years. So again, less than $1 a day. It's a good value transaction if you ask me. Hope y'all are having a wonderful day. This is Stealing Your Attention, signing out. And like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you next time.